Calm down, everyone. I've arrived. Douzhi sword scoured, set for an aerial show. After a frantic search, he found his son floating in the clouds, oblivious to the fact that he was on a cloud roller coaster. In this darkness, the SWAT team appeared like bad apples in the orchard, waking Maxine from her dreams as if struck by lightning. He listened closely and heard a 30-person armed circus approaching. Douzhi pulled out his magic tool from a cabinet and told Maxine to play hide and seek with. Waiting for his signal to retreat, the searchlights lit up and 2 SWAT rushed at them before he finished. Douzhi grabbed the SWAT officer as if shooting hoops, then flew to the orchard after firing, while sharpshooter Liu aimed for a bullseye. A bullet struck his shoulder. 2 superhumans, Yuan and Pikavink, performed in turn, yet Douzhi vanished mysteriously. Douzhi tried to pull off a flying escape, but was tied down by the godly folks, with 30 guns aimed at his head, unexpectedly becoming their target. Douzhi was at a tight spot. Maxine nearby sensed the signal, fled the park swiftly, and saw her family safe as if playing house. Douzhi slowly descended, and the former action commander came up, lifting his mask and helplessly saying, "Oh, Douzhi, you've done it again." From then on, Maxine carried a runaway bag, moving through cities, believing she had escaped, yet Director Xiao shadowed her. As for whether Douzhi was alive or dead, let's put that on hold for now. Let's pause and rewind to CG Olympus years. After Minister Min's demotion, things turned into a shattered mosaic. Black squads disbanded, all changed jobs, but Uncle Yuan wanted like a lost bird, unable to find tomorrow's path. In the end, he had to follow orders and went to a newspaper, becoming a suit and tie guy, working a busy 9-5. Fortunately, he still had Yuan Jixi at his side, offering support akin to that at Tiffany's. They held a simple wedding at home, and fixed BBQ nights every month, ending their thrilling spy life and settling into a more boring routine. For Uncle Yuan, this wasn't good because aside from fighting, his skills seemed to have been beaten, gradually. Uncle Yuan began to feel like a roadside chicken, but Jixi disagrees, saying, "You're the best option in my heart, my darling." Late night, while Uncle Yuan was overworking, he suddenly heard a familiar voice. It was Old Min, asking if he wanted to rejoin national security. Not long ago, North Korea dispatched 20 spies, which was truly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. But he didn't agree right away. Jixi saw through his concerns and encouraged Uncle Yuan to chase his dreams. Uncle Yuan returned to the National Security Department as a special envoy for spy catching. Captain Johnny Lee laughed at the sight. On the second day of the mission, Uncle Yuan met Director Zhao, who was quite good at finding things. As long as there was a trace, he could find the desired target. On the 49th day of the search mission, old Zhao discovered the footprints. Subtitles, oddly, spy footprints were 2 minutes apart, hinting they are superpowered. Soldiers were thrilled like fans. On day 49 of the search, they found enemy tracks. Uncle Yuan aimed to catch spies fast to reunite with his wife. However, he was pulled back by old Zhao, who told him to wait and let the grunts test the waters first, preferably lose a few along the way. Then they would go back to clean up the mess, making the superpowered folks seem important. Uncle Yuan's worldview shattered instantly. Although Uncle Yuan didn't have deep feelings for these grunts, they had spent over a month together, forming a camaraderie. Suddenly, gunfire exploded, and Uncle Yuan bolted to the battlefield as if he had been injected with. By the time he arrived at the scene, both sides were already having a fire duel. Amidst the rain of bullets, Uncle Yuan caught a bullet barehanded. The intel seemed off. The number of spies greatly exceeded 20. That little rascal old Zhao had been puffing up the numbers, when suddenly a grenade dropped on their position. Uncle Yuan didn't hesitate, and immediately dove for it, pulling off a heroic move of getting up and dusting himself off. Nearby soldiers were dumbfounded, thinking, is he still human? Truly the unbreakable spirit. Suddenly, a bullet came shooting in and killed the squad leader on the spot, leaving the troop at a loss. The soldiers momentarily dazed. The ground suddenly started to quake, and a rookie shouted, while a dull rumble echoed from the mountaintop. The giant boulder rolled down from the mountaintop, swooshing past and taking out 3 or 4 soldiers. On the mountaintop, a man in red was playing with rocks. He was truly a mighty mountain mover. Although Ji Lompu, this powerful divine weapon, had been cold for years, once unleashed it was an unyielding effort that could not be shaken. An empowered individual jumped into action, and the search mission ended in disaster. Uncle Yuan sat exhausted in the troop carrier, haunted by the visions of his fallen comrade. Old Zhao ran over excitedly, telling Uncle Yuan that Minister Min just called, planning to restore the great cause of the Black Squad. Uncle Yuan had no interest in Director Zhao, waving him away and telling him to stay out of his sight as the troop carrier slowly rumbled to life. When he returned home, as he took off his shoes, Jixi collapsed onto his shoulder, sobbing uncontrollably. She thought he would never return. This failed military operation was a life-and-death game, and tonight she found out there were indeed many superheroes. Uncle Yuan, being an elder, became the leader of the new Black Squad, and he had just one demand: don't let Director Zhao join the trouble again. The boss happily agreed and paired Uncle Yuan up with 3 assistants: Pikachu's Grandpa Pikipink, Pipi's sister Liu, Mighty Zhen Chu, and Uncle Yuan back to vibrant life. Every time he went on a business trip, Jixi would send him off at the door until one day she interrupted Uncle Yuan's mission. Today is BBQ day, but Uncle Yuan said he had an important mission and told Jixi to save the BBQ for later. If you like our story, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.